making news this morning.
There's a whole row where there should be trailers that there's nothing but debris.
Deadly weather sweeping through several states, killing 2 people in a mobile home park. A look at the destruction and what we can expect today in Arkansas coming up. Plus,
I think it would be helpful to have less drama emanating from the White House.
the latest report about President Trump asking the FBI director to call off an investigation into Michael Flynn, and what you think about the investigation into Russian meddling in the United States election. And General Mills is giving away boxes filled with your favorite part of Lucky Charms. How you can be one of 10,000 people to get a marshmallow-only box of cereal.
From the station that's on your side, this is Channel 7 News Daybreak.
And a good Wednesday morning. The time now 6 o'clock. We start this hour with severe weather proving deadly on Tuesday.
Intense storms, including tornadoes, reported in several states. 2 people reported dead after a tornado ripped through a mobile home park in Wisconsin. Reed Binion reports.
I know there was walls on top of people, is how it's described to me.
Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald addressing the devastation left after a deadly tornado reportedly tore through a mobile home park in northwest Wisconsin Tuesday.
I would describe it as total destruction. There's a whole row where there should be trailers that there's nothing but debris.
The storm leaving splintered wood and twisted metal in its wake, along with dozens of injuries. Some victims suffering only minor cuts, others carried out on stretchers. There were reports of tornadoes in other states as well, including Texas and Oklahoma, where the hard-hit community of Elk City saw injuries and widespread damage. The storm tearing roofs off of some homes while completely destroying others.
We have approximately 50 to 75 homes that were damaged. We have several homes that were completely destroyed.
Emergency crews pulling the occupant of one home out of the wreckage after the structure collapsed.
I would say that we are still trying to account for everyone at this time. We are sending fire departments into these neighborhoods. They're working house to house, home to home, looking for people.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
We bring in our meteorologist, Melinda Mayo, with a look at the weather and what we can expect today. Mel?
Yeah, we're going to talk about, as that storm line moves into Arkansas, what that means today. But I wanted to show you some more video, and this is from our own Brian Imfinger, who was flying his drone above the damage there in Elk City, Oklahoma. And of course, we heard of one fatality, but 20 to 30 homes heavily damaged, as you can see there. And then also earlier in the day, Brian was in Texas, and he was, this was one of the first funnel clouds that he got there in Texas as well. We don't think this one caused a lot of damage, though. And we'll be watching these as they enter Arkansas, but our severe weather threat is very low here in Arkansas today. We'll talk about what day over the next few when it increases a bit. Showers beginning to move towards western Arkansas. That is the line that brought those storms back to the west. But as they begin to move towards the western side of the state, those are going to begin to break up a little bit. So we'll have more on that, the timing of when they come in and when the greater risk is here for our state. Chris?
Melinda, thank you. Let's take a look at our Crane Automotive Team traffic report this morning. Our map showing a line of yellow coming into the metro from Lone Oak this morning on 40 westbound. This in between Lone Oak and it looks like Kerr Road there. And it's just going to be some traffic building up for that 2-mile stretch. And outside of that, everything else looks pretty good. Taking a look at our sky cams, we'll start on 630 east and westbound next to Arkansas Children's Hospital. Great spacing over there. Next to ACH, we're seeing some volume, though, back towards UAMS. It's starting to come in those waves at this time in the morning. Light level volume on 30 eastbound going just past Verizon Arena this morning. We'll make sure we keep you up to speed before you head out the door on your traffic all morning long right here on Channel 7. We get back to your news, though, this morning. And breaking overnight, crews in New Orleans working to remove another Confederate monument there in the city.
Channel 7's Elizabeth Armstrong in our live news center with the very latest. Elizabeth, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Allison and Chris. If anybody was watching around 5 a.m., there were still construction workers taking down what was left of the monument. This is all that's left this morning as the construction crews have left and the monument itself has come down. Masked workers in New Orleans worked overnight to take down this massive horseback statue of Confederate General Beauregard. The city says it's working to rid itself of public works that celebrate the Confederacy. At up to 14,000 pounds, 25 feet tall, the monument was said to be about the size of a T-Rex. It commemorates a man who led a Confederate army in the attack that launched the Civil War. This is the third monument to come down in New Orleans over the past month. They were built between 1884 and 1915. and are seen by many residents as symbols of white supremacy and racism. But others don't see it that way. In fact, the city has kept the timing of the removal secret, as some have threatened violence over the takedowns. This morning, when the statue came down around 3:15, there was a significant police presence. The mayor of New Orleans tweeted out after this removal, the third Confederate statue is now down, another step forward for our city. As of now, the city has plans to take down one more statue. They say for this statue, it might be placed in a museum where it can be placed in its proper historic context. For now, back to you.
Elizabeth, thank you. A day after reports of President Trump shared highly classified information with top Russian leaders, sources tell ABC News President Trump suggested former FBI Director James Comey shut down his investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. A source close to Comey tells ABC News the day after Flynn was fired in February, Comey wrote a memo allegedly quoting the president saying, "I hope you can let this go. He is a good guy. I hope you can let this go." The New York Times first reported the memo, saying it was part of a paper trail Comey wanted to leave behind as evidence of what he called improper influence on his investigation. The White House is disputing the story, saying in a statement, the president has never asked Mr. Comey or anyone else to end any investigation, including any investigation involving General Flynn. This is not a truthful or accurate portrayal of the conversation between the president and Mr. Comey.
That brings us to our question of the day. How important do you think are the investigations into possible Russian influence during the U.S. elections? Very important, somewhat important, or not important? Head over to our KATV Facebook page or Twitter page to vote right now. And looking at the results this morning, 50% on Twitter saying very important, 41% saying not important, only 9% saying somewhat important. And on Facebook, 57% saying not important, very important, 34%, and 9%. The same as Twitter, say somewhat important. Keep voting throughout the morning on our social media pages.
The top story on KATV.com this morning, parents from Magnolia now facing upgraded charges after their infant suffered hundreds of rat bites. According to prosecutors, 19-year-old Erica Michelle Schrock and 18-year-old Charles Elliott will now face felony charges of permitting abuse of a minor with serious physical injury. Authorities were called to the hospital on Sunday and were told a 15-day-old was being treated with rat bites to the face, arms, hands, and fingers. One bite was reportedly so bad it made the infant's skull visible. Well, coming up, a new report is out on airline ratings right before summer travel season.
Which airlines did the best and the worst among consumers at 6:18?
And coming up, will that severe weather in Oklahoma move this way? We'll go over the risk map for us all the way into the weekend and beyond. That's in just a moment.